Hello everybody, and welcome to the Mandy Boursicot Atelier. I'm with the great Mandini herself. Mandy, what made you decide to rebrand your studio?
Well, I guess most people come here for me as opposed to classical realism, and it's not always obvious what classical realism is, but people know my name, so when they search it on the internet, that's what they find.
Now, where did you train, Mandy?
Oh gosh, should I even mention that I trained at Emily Carr?
Oh, why shouldn't you?
Well, because I guess there's not really a lot of technical training at Emily Carr, but I got my BFA back in the 90s, and then more recently, in 2008, I went to Florence, Italy. I went to the Angel Academy of Art, and I trained there in the academic method.
So do you find that your former training, which was more open and contemporary, helps you understand where your beginners may be coming from with different, desires for stylization, or no?
Totally, yes. I really do understand that, and I think that there are lots of bad habits that maybe I need to help people to break. And oftentimes it's much easier to train someone who has had no training or no previous experience.
But understanding where those bad habits come from may help you make a case to break them.
Yeah, and I also understand that not everyone wants to have a very disciplined academic training.
That's true.
So if they already have some background and they just want to add to their skills, I get it, I know where they're coming from, and maybe I can also kind of just filter out a few skills that they can add to their practice to make their realism better than it is.
Realism is really an interpretation of what the old masters were trying to do, to create a window to reality, a kind of a seamlessness.
That's right.
Yeah. And now we're trying to achieve those results, maybe perhaps with less time and less training. Is that...
Well, definitely less training.
Yeah.
I think the old masters started training at age of 11 or 7 or something like that, and trained for years and years. So by the time they were 20, they were really fluent in their drawing, and things came very naturally. Whereas, we're starting to train later in our lives, and oftentimes we're quite deliberate in what we do, and perhaps a little mechanical.
Right.
We need to think about each thing that we're doing. Certainly, I think in Europe, people are exposed to art a whole lot more. And here, all you have to do is walk out in the streets. There's lots of statues,
absolutely,
and, paintings in every church, and so there's a consciousness of what art can look like, and we don't really have that here.
Now, if there would be one thing that you take from your training in Florence, Italy, and that you use a lot during your classes, and one other thing that you question and decided to change in your own approach?
I guess the main thing is, well, I think possibly you can see this set of drawings over here that is 3 views of this same, they're drawings of a statue of Agrippa. And the main thing about these drawings is a separation of light and shadow. And if we can achieve that, if we can discern what is shadow and put it in and have it work in a way where it is kind of merging with the light, so it's not just posterized. They're very, some contemporary images that we're very familiar with, like, the picture of Che Guevara that everyone has on their t-shirt.
Yes, of course.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's very postery.
Yeah.
It's very graphic, right? But if we start with that, and everyone recognizes it. It's not like you're going to say, oh, that looks like, I can't think who that looks like.
Yeah.
Right? You know it instantly.
Of course.
So light and shadow will give you the foundation of your drawing. And then the next thing is to be able to merge those two so that they look like they're part of the same form. And that will be like the major thing that will step your drawing up to the next level.
So basically, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that these high contrast pictures from Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe, or the Che Guevara are basically the accurate rough start of understanding the shadow.
Yes.
This is what you delve into and elaborate.
And not just understanding the shadow, but understanding the whole form. So how to portray, and the form is a 3-dimensional thing, right? How we're going to portray the 3-dimensional thing on a 2-dimensional surface accurately and start to give it an element of volume as opposed to just a line drawing that's often very flat.
Yes, I've heard you use terms like bedbug lines and turning of the form, which I hadn't heard so
Right.
much before. And they're just that vocabulary that helps you explain to your students how to get there.
Right, yes.
And what about something that from your training, from your academic training, you question more or decided to revise in order to teach your own classes?
Well, my academic training was based on full-time study, and not just full-time, 8 hours a day in the school, supervised and taught, but a further maybe 3 to 6 hours on your own every day, working at it. And I understand like what I wanted to do when I came back to Vancouver is to say, I want to share my skills with people who neither have the time nor the financial leeway, that I will bring my skills and share them with people who want to learn them part-time.
Because it's a tall order.
It is a tall order. So bringing that academic training and trying to condense it into like the most essential elements that people can learn on a part-time basis, that's been one of my goals. That's what I do. And oftentimes I feel like there really isn't enough time. But we're trying to give those skills and that training
Yes.
to people without
As best you can.
Yes, without the 16-hour days.
Well, that's definitely the place where I'm coming from, teaching my own classes in community centers, having cheaper drop-ins, is really to bring the art to the people, to make it accessible, affordable, and here in North America with people's attention spans and you know, we said before how art is not as prevalent. There's not a fountain with like cherub sculptures every corner. So we really have to make do with that. So now, if you like, people, we're going to show you a little bit around the atelier, give you some candid experience with the process of doing my portrait. I like the atmosphere here. It's like one big artistic family. Everyone is so nice to each other and giving each other constructive criticism. So I'll show you a little bit what everyone has done. Alright everybody, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.